Yes, people, welcome to Truth and Banter podcast. It's your boy Flash. We got Big J behind the scenes, and we got the main man, Larose.
Hey! What's up, my brother? You right?
Yes, my brother. Yes, my brother. Long time. Now, why we got Larose here today is to speak about the protest which is going on in London and around UK about people's freedoms and our rights being taken, and why I brought Larose up. If I'm not sure if we can just get a screenshot of a picture. This is the picture that I received on my WhatsApp. We got that, yeah? All right. Now, as you can see, that person in the mask is this guy sitting here. He might be able to.
I've got a version, bro.
So you went out to a protest, yeah?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, and I can see a picture without the mask as well.
Is there a picture there? Yeah. See? There's one there. Well, wait, you baited yourself up there because you got one without.
No, one move. No, that's not me. Not guilty, mate. Not guilty, man. That's not me, cuz.
But I don't know. Some people might think, oh no, there's two ways to take it. Because at the end of the day, you went out there to represent us as the people.
Of course.
And
who's us?
Us is like maybe the public, no? Because at the end of the day, we're all
ask him what he went out there for.
All right, that is true. That's my perspective. That is true. Why was you out? How did you end up out there that day and getting arrested, Rose?
Bro, it's simple. There was a little march. We heard of like freedom of speech, free rights. You know what I'm saying?
So was you at every march?
You know what? That was my first one.
That's your first march.
We went to a little small march.
Wait, you did try to go to another march before, because I remember you did phone me for what is it about the is it BLM?
Yeah, Black Lives Matter. Went up there as well.
But I don't know if you might have went. You got there? Did you get there late?
Yeah, I got there late. Yeah, when was it EDL?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When they were up there, I went up there.
Yeah.
And then we went there. Basically, it was kind of sectioned off, innit?
So you
couldn't get there. They couldn't get to us. They got taken on the back road, innit? And there weren't really much people there. They kind of dispersed us. So I went up to there. Yeah. I forgot about that, but that weren't really as kind of intense as this one, innit?
Yeah.
So I went there as well. Still,
okay. All right. Cool. So what happened with this one anyway? The one there, you was on the news and your favorite picture was there.
Well, to be honest, bro, it was a thing where the government are putting all these kind of restrictions, not giving people freedom to speak, not giving us our own rights. Me as a person, I go gym quite a bit, innit?
Yeah.
And then we had a little gym group. And for me and certain people, it's mental health thing, innit? So
what's that when you can't go gym no more?
Yeah, I know it sounds mad.
No, hey,
but everyone's got their own little thing. Everyone's got their
vices,
smoke. Some people got their drink. Do you know what I'm saying?
And
some people sniff. It's down to them.
That's quite a general thing. Mental health helps people with doing your physical health helps people with mental.
Yeah, definitely. Physical and mental goes hand in hand.
Hand in hand, bro. And for me, I would kind of always doing something active to keep my brain circulating, keep myself busy.
Yeah.
So boom, what happened is we was going to the gym. I don't know if you lot know it, but obviously it's going to be in the papers and whatnot. Yeah. There's one called Zone. Yeah. In Wood Green.
All right, big up Zone. Yeah.
So we was all there, and they're shutting down the Zone. They gave my man like 67 grand fine. He was open.
How much? 67.
Yeah, 67.
Why? Because it was open when it weren't meant to be open.
Yeah, the first lockdown, I think he was open 3-4 weeks. Don't quote me, but into the lockdown. Yeah. So the feds will come every day. Okay. Trying to brew this bully boy thing. The gates. They're standing between the gates, not letting everyone go through. Okay. We're going through. He's there, we're there, little standoff and whatnot.
So before you guys go too far into the protest, what do you think about the whole situation with the COVID-19 and like how they've stopped businesses and stuff, and how has it affected you guys in the last year or so?
Do you know what? To be quite honest, I got mixed reactions, innit? Because I do think there's something there, but I do think that at the same time they're over exaggerating. There's a little bit of a conspiracy theory as well, isn't it? Like the flu jab, that's gone out the window. People going like the COVID. Then you're talking there's different strains. Then you're saying it's black people, Asian people. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much. Yeah. It's obviously for me being a black man, we've always been stigmatized anyway. So
100%.
for them to kind of put it on black and Asian rice
100%.
and saying, yeah, it's down to where the most, it's coming like a racist thing, isn't it? Because
100%.
recently I've heard about the new strain.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I've
new
heard
strain
about it
in
as
South
well.
Africa, and they're saying, oh, it's South African strain, but it's gone to Tottenham and gone to Ealing. Come on, bro. If
Not
it's
just Tottenham and just Ealing.
just Tottenham and Ealing, bro, if it's a,
so they've gone to a black, it's gone to a black
and an
area
Asian
and
area.
an Asian area.
You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to say where most people to get it done. But hold on, what? So it's flew over Chelsea, it's come out the ends, flew over Chelsea, flew over Knightsbridge, flew over all the proper areas, you know what I'm saying? All the posh white kind of bougie areas and just landed right in the hood.
Just targeting the more coloured.
Yeah, bro.
places.
So,
I wouldn't
so
even say posh white, because you know, like when you go to those areas, there's a lot of Arabs.
of course,
There's a lot of, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, not being
But I guess
stereotypical.
I guess the dominant.
the dominant wealthy parts.
The wealthy parts.
The wealthy parts,
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
being quite
That's
honest.
the best way to
Yeah.
address it.
So the wealthy parts, and then you land in Tottenham
Yeah.
and Ealing, bro. And come on, it's
No, definitely, I agree. From the start,
a bit
it
suspect.
hasn't been straightforward. They've been saying one thing, then been saying another thing. First they're saying children can't catch it, then children can catch it. So you can't really trust it because they haven't been 100 from the start. So how can we trust it now? That's
And
the way I
there's too
the
much
way,
mixed
the way I see
messages.
it. Yeah, definitely. Too much mixed
Boris
messages.
Johnson, I don't know what he's talking about. Sometimes they stay at home, go at home. Then he says, "Don't go this, don't go that." This. If there was supposed to be a clear structure, you should have had that from the beginning.
Not 100%.
Don't swap and change it because then it's going to play with people's heads, isn't it? And whatnot.
No, definitely.
I'm not fronting and saying there don't people dying. There's people dying, but I
No,
just
there is
think
100% as well.
that there's a different. To me, there's something else.
Yeah.
Don't seem straightforward, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Seems like there's something they're not telling us, and I don't know what to say, but yeah, I guess we'll get to see the result at the end of it. But yeah, it's nothing straightforward. It seems. So yeah, I
How's
cannot.
life been for you guys? Like, how has it
um,
changed things for you?
Well, for me, has it changed? It's changed a bit because people can't socialise, but I don't really go out to the club often that much anyway, so that really ain't really harmed me. But I can understand it. But it's what harms people around me affects me, innit? So if people's feeling it, I'm gonna be feeling it. So that's really the effects that I felt, and obviously rest in peace to everyone that's passed through this time. So yes, those things has affected just the general energy. General energy across, regardless how it's affected you, the general energy is going to affect you. You can't socialize as much, people's going to be more stressed. Then people stressing might pass on their stress to you, which is going to unbalance you. So it's just the time we're in right now.
Yeah.
I think it's affected kind of relationships.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
no human beings ain't always supposed to be cooped up in the house. Only over here.
Yeah,
when you go back
100%.
home, you go to different countries. Everyone's on the beach. You're socializing. You don't really go in your yard until it's late. You know what I'm saying, I'm from
100%.
Jamaica and Trinidad. Where majority of the time when I'm over there, you're going to your house just to go and wash and have a sleep, and the majority of the times you're out. So I think the cooping in the house all the time is affecting your mental
Yeah,
state.
definitely.
innit?
It's putting a strain on people.
Yeah, it has pros and cons.
Of course.
It still helps you to have
Yeah,
reflection. 'cause
of
you
course.
know what, I probably, like,
Yeah.
a lot of us have gained better relationships with people.
Yeah, that is a thing as well. It has gave people to take time to spend with things they maybe weren't able to do before, maybe hobbies, and maybe recoup with that. That's which is they can do within themselves or in the house, or maybe just recoup within themselves because they never had time for themselves to reflect on stuff, start their own business, think about businesses that they want to start, things like that. So it's pros and cons depending on the way you're looking at it from. I would say.
Definitely, 100%.
But regardless of all of that, at the end of the day, it's like we are the people and we are living through this.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, I feel it's a way where it can either make you or break you. It's at that time where if you're mentally strong, you
Yeah.
can get past certain things, but if you're weak-minded, then it could affect you in a certain way. Innit?
Definitely, and I think that is a major part of what's leading to the protests and things like that as well. 'Cause
Definitely.
people are just feeling the strain
Of course.
and they're upset and they want to go out and they want to protest and they want their voice to be heard. They want
Frustration.
changes to be done. So I understand people that's been going out to the protests. So getting back to you, yeah. So basically, it was because the gym was getting shut.
Yeah. So for the first one, it was the Black Lives Matter one, and the ETO, sorry to take it back a bit.
Yeah.
That was obviously my black man in this country, and then they had this little Tommy Robinson march. I thought, you know what, stand up for yourself. A lot of people will say things behind closed doors, but it just made me think back to the racist days, where it's a thing where people are trying to do the right thing, and then people are coming out trying to kind of block us from speaking to what we want to say.
I hear you.
So we thought, you know what, let's go up there. But obviously, like I said, as I went up there, the police, it's weird because the police ushered.
What's this, the BLM one?
The BLM one,
yeah. All right.
With the EDO and
Yeah,
so forth.
yeah.
They ushered them away.
So you couldn't basically.
We couldn't really.
There was a divide.
Yeah, it was a divide without people saying anything. But which I feel that it was I don't know. To be quite honest, I think it didn't go in favour of the Black Lives Matter march because they got much more attention. We got attention, but they got attention.
Yeah, I did see the clips from what I see from the BLM march was like a lot of like
white shoulder.
White guys, they was actually going crazy on the police and like, fighting them. Like there was actually the hooligans come out like, and I don't know. It seems like they don't get painted
in the same picture.
And if they do, it's only for a day or two, and then it's forgotten about and brushed under the carpet again. But when it's the other way around, it seems like that images seems to last a lot longer.
Yeah, it's more tainted.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, that was the first one. Came back from there. Still had it in my brain that there's a bit of injustice there. Then obviously, like I say, I'll go to this own gym and then I'll do the gym side, mate.
Yeah, you go gym, yeah. Obviously,
keep
keep yourself active.
What
Keep yourself.
What do you lot think marches are gonna
solve?
Yeah, what's the outcome of a march?
Do you know what? Well, the outcome of march, I feel that it kind of makes the people in power don't sit restly on their laurels. You know what I'm saying? So
have we ever seen any results from a march ever?
Do you know what? If you think about it, if you go back in history, like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Yeah. Again, no, Malcolm X, because Malcolm X did in March.
Didn't he march? I'm not sure if he did. I know that. I do know that. King marched 100%.
So I know
what happened from there? Nothing.
From what I know, I'm not too sure. I'm not accurate with it. I'm not sure how much the march is done. I know that the boycott done something because I think that changed something, but that wasn't a march. That was actually a boycott where something was actually actively done. But no, where they boycotted the buses back in Rosa Parks, and then that caused like them to change whatever was going on at the time.
That's not why they changed.
That's what they say because people boycotted the march, the buses, and that black people boycotted the buses.
They needed the buses, man.
I know, but they boycotted the white people's buses.
No, they did.
Didn't they? You sure? Let's check.
Devil's advocate here.
Are you sure?
Listen.
What are you saying? Tell me.
Rosa Parks said she's not getting to the back.
Yeah.
History. That's what we know about it. Listen, we don't know anything else.
Yeah, I don't know if that was Martin Luther King.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. All I'm saying is,
Rosa Parks.
I was asking, when have you seen a march work?
And you know, be quite honest.
Me personally, I've not personally seen a march work. It's just like the people just getting out their frustrations. That's me, honestly. That's why I personally don't really attend no marches.
Was you peacefully marching?
I was.
And you still got arrested?
I still got arrested. In the eyes of the law.
He was peacefully marching.
You know what? I'll keep it real with you. I was peacefully marching until I got there. Then when I got there, I kind of, my attitude kind of changed. But I've come from a background where my family was marching.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've come from a background. My granddad was the first black bookshop.
Wow.
In London.
Can you mention his name?
Yeah, his name's John Larose. And they're trying to change. Is it Black Boy Lane?
Yeah, Black Boy Lane. They're trying to pick up John Larose.
Wow.
So my family has always been activists. So I come from that kind of background. That era, my dad done marching. My granddad.
It's in your blood.
Yeah. So where was it? When they threw the bomb in the house? Where was it? Is it back? Where was it? New Cross. The New Cross massacre.
Okay.
My granddad was the chairman and the fundman of that march. You know?
Okay.
So obviously I've always been hearing, and even growing up, you know, when you hear elders talk and they go forth, and I was just wrapped up in a little baby, but I was going to the marches. So
you grew up in it, basically.
Grew up in it. So I feel I went there. I won't say no a strictly positive vibe.
Sorry, where was your granddad's bookshop as well? Just
Stroud Green Road.
Okay, the Beacon.
Beacon Books.
Beacon,
yeah, big up Beacon Books on Stroud Green Road, N4. Yeah, go check that out, support it. John Larose, big figure in the black community. Get me, my boys here, granddad.
Yeah, man.
So you've been that your for years. So you basically kind of like it's in your kind of blood.
It's in my blood, in my nature. So obviously, it's nothing strange to me.
Yeah.
So on that day, I remember going up there. There's a lot of us.
So you say you was frustrated about not being able to go to gym as well? Because you were saying that obviously the manager's been fined
67 grand.
So you say the gym lads went up there just to stand up for.
Yeah, we went. I think so. Everyone had their own different individual purpose.
Yeah.
If I be honest with you, that they do. We're all human beings. So I don't know what's going on in their heads. They don't know what's going on in mine. But we're all trying to meet the right kind of criteria.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I went up there, obviously thinking, let me go up there, just see how it is, see how the police are carrying on, and try and make a little point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As soon as I got up there, I could feel it in the air. There was tenseness.
Yeah, we could see from the video that we showed when you're
I got arrested.
Yeah, we can see that, like, it looks like, put it up again. Your eyes look a bit beady up in there. Looks like you're up to something.
Yeah, I'm not lying to you. If I'll be honest with you, I was up to.
Look like it's a bit something. Obviously, you're not happy about gym, innit? So when you're going up, none of you are, innit? Because you can't go gym.
Of course.
And if you can't go gym, you're not happy.
This is a controlled atmosphere.
Yeah.
So we got nice little juice. We're calm. So I think we're in that atmosphere, and that kind of it was like going for a little fight. If I'll be honest with you, it was like us against them. We got to make our point. They got to make their point. Any means necessary, kind of thing. You know? So
sounds like a bit of football.
It was. I would say it's a bit of that as well.
Seems like it's a bit of a football.
Are
you into football?
I love football. Arsenal, mate.
Yeah, Arsenal.
Yeah, I love
Have you ever had a little?
Yeah, I've had a couple still. I'm not lying to you. I've had quite a few still. I've had a couple.
Okay.
So that's in my blood. That's in my blood, but it's not as organised as it used to.
You just like standing up for things. If
like
it's something that you're for, you're gonna stand up for it, basically.
It's part of, I'm not lying to you. Yeah, I've been going to a couple of away games for a couple of years, having a little scrap and that. But
you say have a little scrap on the away games on the way over. Yeah,
go home, starting to eat, happy days. Go back to the missus if she sets me back. You get me?
So when you went down to the protest, if you got into a scrap, you wouldn't have minded, basically.
Nah, I don't think I would have minded. Still, it's just people with gear.
All right. So let me ask you this: you was a lot of people know that was you, like, you must have got phone calls.
Oh, I got phone calls, messages, family. It was
right, cool. Now,
I thought they couldn't, because I thought that mask was kind of decent.
The mask, I knew it was you because I seen you in that mask before, because you come to Leaky.
When I come to Leaky.
You come to Leaky, like, where you get that mask from? Like, you look like a tourist, but basically.
Some Sub-Zero mask.
What I wanna know is, obviously it's gonna be people that's, I don't know, what was the main, was people upset with you? What was the majority of the phone calls coming through to you? Was there like, what the fuck was you doing?
Yeah, you know what is, bro? Can I be honest? Like, a lot of the family, obviously, I've been in trouble in the past, innit?
Yeah.
So I've had scrapes with the law before and whatever and whatnot. So me going into that now, they're saying this is not you. This is not your MO. So some of them were embarrassed. Some of them saying, "Wow, what's going on? Like, what's taking you to go to a march and put on that mask there?" So I got a lot of family-wise cousins and that knew who I was. They're like, "Wow, what's going on here?" Like, boom, 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 boom.
So what did
they were a bit unexpected.
Do you regret going there?
You know what? I regret
after the phone calls and maybe people seemed like they was disappointed. Did you actually regret going there? Because you did get arrested, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes and no.
Have you got a case?
Yeah, I got a case. 29th of April.
Are you able to speak on the case, or is it
what's the charges?
Assaulting two officers.
Assaulting two officers.
Yeah. So to be quite honest, boy, it can go either way. But I've got a bit of a mad criminal record, innit? So it kind of could go in my favour or it couldn't. Do you know what I mean?
So Do you know how many people got arrested that day?
I think there was quite a few people that got arrested, but I don't know if everyone got charged.
Okay,
There are a lot of people getting charged for like COVID
Yeah.
and them type of things,
Cool,
but
cool.
not the actual assaulting on the officers. I think maybe about 7 on the
Oh,
officers
right.
still.
So what about people from your gym? How many people got arrested from
I
your
think
gym?
5.
5, yeah?
There's about
Okay,
5
so
from
quite
my
a
gym.
few.
Yeah, I think they kind of targeted us because obviously I'm decent, but you got a lot of big man around you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Big,
And
that
they-
big guys and that. Obviously
big
in the
guys
gym,
on
innit?
special substances. You get me? So,
On special
They-
substances.
so those guys were looking the part, innit? So
Yeah.
I think Fed looked at them lot and said, "Listen, these are the guys that we're kind of trying to target, innit? Because as soon as
So you basically look like you might cause a problem.
yeah, there was other people like there was little. I remember there was a little white lady, and she had like a little banner,
Yeah.
and she just looked humble,
Mm.
and she just running around with this little banner, yeah, and they just tripped her up.
Who tripped her up?
I'm Fez. They
The
just
police tripped her up?
They tripped her up, fell on the floor, her faces
Oh
all
my-
mashed up.
don't lie.
Yeah, and I thought, fuck, you know, if
For
you're gonna
real?
do that, yeah, to this little lady,
Oh
that kind of
my
made my
gosh.
blood even boil even more.
Yeah,
innit?
of course.
So
That
then
would
I
make
thought-
anyone's blood boil.
Yeah, some little woman just, you know them.
Yeah, she's just
I thought, nah, that's all has to be my
peaceful
mum and my grandma
protest.
and that. So
Protesting, yeah.
unnecessary,
So
but
that would piss you. That
They-
would piss anyone off.
they're doing that to the kind of civilians, but then when it's come to us, it's a bit more forceful. Do you know what I'm saying? With the shields and the
Okay,
pushing,
okay.
yeah. So that's what it was really. And then
So how did you actually get into the scrap? Like what they told you to move and you wouldn't move?
do you know
or
what?
Like, what happened?
They kind of
Or you allowed to talk about it? Is it cool?
yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of block it. They kind of block. They were doing it in sections. For example, if we're moving forward, they'll come with their shields and kind of move us to the side,
Okay.
push against us and whatnot. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a strategy where they had us
Okay.
kind of following a certain crowd.
Okay.
So where they had us moving, for example, the first line would come in, block us. Then when we're moving, the second line would come in, block
Okay.
us. So they had it strategically kind of matched for us. As
Yeah.
we're going up there now, to be quite honest, they started picking people off by themselves.
Yeah.
So like they started getting people like by themselves and kind of blocking everyone out. Like for example, individuals.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I was here, they would block off a man by himself and kind of rough him up, innit?
That's what they're blocking
Yeah,
off?
yeah, but not in a sense where like kind of shouting and whatnot, innit? So they're
Okay,
shouting,
okay.
trying to do this.
So what happened? They
Vibrating.
blocked off one. How did it?
They blocked off one of
your
my
people or
veterans
something?
So I see him on the floor, innit?
What they said? They basically police
Yeah, they
Put-
kind of
chop,
blocked him
like-
off and then they kind of mishandled him, innit?
and put him, and he
Put him on the
ended
floor,
up on the ground.
On and up on the ground.
Okay.
So
So
I
where
thought,
was
you know-
where was the gym lads at this time?
They blocked off. So for example, he was here, and then the police were further up there. So we walked up, but they had him. Every section, they would keep him moving on.
Okay.
So when they
So basically,
I did-
they blocked off one of the gym lads, and the
Yeah.
rest of the gym lads basically
blocked him off,
missed him.
moved on. Yeah.
So you said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
You
so I said,
noticed it.
where's my man? So I've looked
So,
back
yeah.
and I've seen my man on the floor, innit?
Mm.
And them tussling him up. So I said, no, let me go and, that's not love, you get me?
Yeah.
So,
So you went over there.
went over there, a little tussle broke out between me and the police officers,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Did you try to get your guy free? Well, you got your guy free?
You know what, I was just trying to, I'll be quite honest, I was on a thing where I was trying to trying to get my man off the floor, innit? Because he was on the floor and he's bending
Yeah.
him up. As I got there, they're kind of using force, innit? They're trying to say I put my hands up as a fighting thing.
Yeah.
It's my
So
way.
they basically wouldn't let you get to your guy.
Yeah.
You weren't able to get there.
Yeah. So from there, they've kind of barred man back. And this is
Yeah.
what they say.
Yeah.
When they barred man back, one of them dropped.
One of them dropped
One
when
of the
they barged
policemen-
you back.
Yeah,
So
so,
they fell basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the assault was that one of them dropped. I punched one of them, that's what they're saying, allegedly. But I think he slipped.
Mm-hmm.
And then his friend came and pushed man on an argy-bargy thing.
Mm.
And then obviously I've got it into a little scuffle with them. And then
Yeah.
I got nicked for 2 assaults, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hear you. That's sad.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say, at that time, when you was getting arrested, obviously you and your other mate got arrested. At that time, what did any of the other gym lads see?
You know what? Some of them come back.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, when that happened, they will come running back.
Yeah.
But by that time, they had
what you say, they was blocked off.
they had us two getting nicked like behind the cordon, innit?
Yeah.
And then they had the shields at the front.
Oh,
For example,
so they couldn't
was
get
there,
through.
We'd be at the back, so us two were getting roughed up. And then they had the shields there. So them lot couldn't even get through. There was like a little, like a C. So
I hear you, I hear
that's always blocking man off. So they block man off, rough a man
cool.
up, take man away, and then block man off.
Alright, cool. So
Yeah.
alright, cool. So given all of that, would you do it again?
Yeah, bro, I'll do it again still. I'll do it again, but a bit more strategic, you know what I mean?
Like, what would be different if you went out there this time?
This
Like, was it worth it?
Can I ask a different question?
Go on.
Do you think that we should be looking at new ways of making our point?
Thinking of new ways to make our point, as in like apart from marching and protesting.
Yeah, so like, okay, look.
I'll go for March again, but
Let's
I don't think I'll
let's
do the
look at
physical.
the strategy of marching.
Mm-hmm.
We go down to somewhere like Trafalgar Square,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because that's where everyone goes.
yeah.
What's Trafalgar Square, and who is that? What's that doing for anyone?
Mm.
What's that when
So-
everyone goes down to Trafalgar
Everyone
Square
always goes to Trafalgar Square or somewhere
and
like
does
that.
some march?
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm just saying.
What's
like,
it do? I don't
Yeah,
know.
who's there? No one's at Trafalgar Square. And
It's
no
true.
one's, yeah, like at the end of the day, no one's there. So who are
Yeah.
we talking to?
I guess people are just. I guess I don't know, but I think
I-
maybe
I
people they're just trying to
personally
get attention.
No, but with all the different things that we've
But-
got.
You know what? If you block off the roads and certain things like that in marches, yeah, people are losing money in it. So I think maybe it might be
Okay.
Westminster.
It's not
They're not going to lose a lot, but you
Yeah,
know,
but-
But in Trafalgar Square, I'm not even
Yeah.
sure if they actually block off the
Look how
roads.
they've changed the traffic. If they cared about losing money for traffic, they wouldn't be putting us all on the main road right now. Right
yeah,
now, there's
it's
no
mad.
back streets.
bruv, you know, to come
no
there and link you, it normally take man a quick 5-10 minutes. Bruv, everywhere I was going,
Yeah,
bruv, I had the madness
they're
even
looking
coming out.
down.
Some guys jumped off his bike telling me you
Yeah,
can't go that way.
LCS.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, bro.
crazy.
It's crazy.
There's
It's
no
So-
true.
change, if they
So
care
I
about
do
it-
understand people's frustration. I do understand, but the
Yeah,
way they're
I
going
know.
about it, I'm not sure if it's getting the results
I've
or
understood
getting
it
any
before.
results. I'm not too sure in the results
I'm saying
to
that-
protest
what do you
ratio.
think, Flash? Is
What
there-
do I
should
think?
we be looking at new?
Should we be looking at new ways to
Get
go
our
about
across?
things? 100% we should be, but I don't know what the way is, because I've seen that sometimes on WhatsApp and that
Should
you
it
must
be
have
more
got petitions and stuff like that. You
Should
sure
it
you've
be
got
more
that?
aggressive or should it be less aggressive?
Should it be more aggressive or less aggressive? Oh boy, that's a touchy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say me personally,
I think it should
If
be more aggressive.
that's what I was
When
gonna
it's
say.
that time.
Me personally, if you are really going to prove a point and make a point, you really need to be more aggressive. But you need to be more aggressive in the right places.
Yeah, strategically.
That's what I
innit?
strategically in it. Because
And that's what I
sometimes when
mean.
it comes to
And I
looting,
think
like
fighting-
people loot and then they smash up shops and businesses.
Yeah.
That's their people's personal business. Like that's
That's right.
not destroying the establishment. Like they missed the point.
Aggressiveness don't mean fighting. Aggressiveness means that more strong with your approach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definite.
So like for me, if everyone just standing there saying that we're peacefully protesting isn't working, us fighting against, us having physical fighting with him on the streets doesn't seem to work. So I think when chess is being played, you got to play chess.
No, definite. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
It's about moving the right pieces at the right
Yeah.
time, innit?
Yeah,
But we
it's
just got to learn the game so we know how to play. And I'm not sure
Yeah,
the people know the game in it. That's
No.
why they just go to the old-fashioned way of protesting.
Yeah.
No,
And then some people get frustrated, like Mr. Larose here,
Yeah.
and then they go and fight. But if everyone was fighting,
But culturally,
if everyone was fighting, there might have actually been a change. You get me?
but culturally,
Possibly.
everyone protests different, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know, like,
definitely.
say for instance, if you come from a wealthy background,
Yeah.
your protest is stronger than someone from a poorer background. Would you not agree to that?
Definitely.
If you're from a wealthy background,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Because
They don't protest.
It's crazy. You
They
see,
do.
Like what marching and what is it?
Listen, the kids of wealthy people protest more than anyone.
What marching?
yeah.
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah,
Because
they
you
go
know
down
what?
to-
What's that? What was
but
it a
we
year
say
ago?
stuff changes.
What was it a year ago? What was
No,
it for the climate?
Yeah.
For the climate, what were they called?
Yeah.
Climate people, where they're digging their holes and whatnot.
Okay.
They come from that. I think one of the sons was a son of a politician or something.
Yeah,
innit?
all the
Okay.
And they're digging their holes.
warriors, all
Equal
that.
warriors. They're all digging houses,
Yeah.
digging holes, and do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Straight,
Tied
strapping
themselves
themselves
to
inside of
trees.
trees and
Yeah.
trains and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they're different.
The man them
Different
ain't doing
ways.
that.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
the man them ain't doing
They're not doing that.
Yeah,
To be quite frank, I think the mindset's different, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
To be
That's what I'm
quite
saying.
honest,
You need
I
to
don't
know
think
the
I'm trying
game
to
and
tie
how to play the
myself
game.
Yeah.
to people.
So when it comes to us, what are we fighting for then?
A voice.
For what?
A voice to be heard. To be fight. I think.
What
I
is
think we're fighting for what the people are going out to the protest
Voice
for
and-
is to fight for change.
For what?
So in
Change your level of
the Rose is I'm just talking about individual protests.
I think the way of thinking.
So in
as
his
well,
one was protest for you was
freedom of
upset
speech,
about.
freedom of speech, and basically the
What do you
government.
mean by freedom of speech?
I think that a lot of people through this time, not a lot of people have got their own opinion. So someone's,
But isn't that a personal thing?
yeah, that's my personal thing still.
No, but isn't that a personal thing for them to not have? Not,
Yeah, but I just feel
Was it? They're not. Why you say they ain't got it? Because they
you're
don't
just
feel
falling
they.
into routine, innit? You're falling into structure. It's like a sheep.
Yeah.
Everyone's following each other.
Too many sheep.
Too many sheep following each other, innit? Sometimes you got to think out the box and make your own choices instead of like, if my man says I'm going right, if I'm looking down and I think, right, this is a bit booky, I'm
The
doing
right's
left.
not for you.
It's
You
not
should
for me.
turn left.
But you got to go with your gut feeling. But I think where the media,
People don't.
people getting
don't go with
programmed
their gut
and
feeling
everything
no
that,
more.
yeah, what you read and what, I think television is kind of a big factor because it can brainwash you. If you watch the same thing all the time,
But okay, what do we want though? What's the outcome of what we want?
I think, me personally,
What's the outcome you wanted from the protest that you went to?
the outcome was to kind of keep the gyms open and keep certain things open for people's mental health.
So
And-
what? So with saying that, I'm just
Mhm.
being like devil's advocate.
Mhm.
People might say that you're being ignorant to the COVID and
Yeah.
what's going on with COVID and people risking their lives, and this is why this is being shut down
Mhm.
because of COVID, and people are dying from COVID,
Mhm.
and you going to gyms like goes against this.
But then they've got people saying they're not opening up for schools. You know what I'm saying? The schools getting opened up for education and whatnot. Now they're trying to say
But the schools are closed at the moment, no?
yeah, but they're trying to say they're going to open them up. So if you're going to open them up, and there's kids, how much kids are in a classroom? Yeah, if you let 5 or 6 people in a gym with distancing, keeping. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying let 30 people in there and everyone's squeeze up on each other, but if you're giving enough social distancing, like you're saying, and there's 5 people at a time,
Understandable.
does that make sense?
Yeah,
If
that's
you're going 5 people
yeah.
or 6 people,
That is
you can social
understandable.
distance because you're making a school. Certain people that lack or need that mental health, then you can spread it out.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to say 30 or 40 people. It's just kind of common sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're opening schools and that, and I think a lot of things are financial for the benefit again, not for schools obviously, and you're opening pubs and Christmas and whatnot. Do you know what I'm saying? So
So you just think they're taking the piss, basically?
I personally think
the
through
way they're
Christmas
doing
you
it
could have
is
had it on
they-
lockdown, and then now it would have been a different. In my personal opinion, it would have been a different kind of time that we're living in, innit? If you, but because you wanted money, alright, cool, I understand you wanted people to have a good time, but that weren't the time, innit?
But some people saying it's strictly because of COVID, isn't it? It depends
Yeah.
on what level you're looking at it from,
Mhm.
I guess. 'Cause some people say still like they need to lock down because COVID isn't going down,
Yeah.
and
But
the part of the reason is this. And if everyone locked down, some people might say this: if everybody locked down, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and gyms didn't open when they was not meant to be open, and other stuff didn't open when it didn't mean to be open, and people weren't going out and socializing when they weren't meant to be, we'll be back normal by now. Obviously that might be bullshit, but some people in their head
We'll
they
say
might
that, yeah.
will say that, you get me, like that's part of the problem as the reason why
We're here, and it's still.
we're still in this position.
Yeah. No, I hear you still. I hear you. There's 2 different ways of thinking, innit?
You know them ones there.
But there's very
So
different
it's like,
countries around the world.
but what
that
are you saying? What you saying is, see what I just said.
Mhm.
Would you say that is the sheep mentality that you was talking about earlier? Is that what
I
you're trying to
personally
say?
think so.
That's what you think
Yeah,
personally.
that's me
People that's
personally.
thinking like that on that wave, like
Yeah.
you're the reason
It's
that
an
you
easier
ain't
way.
you ain't shut. That's the reason we're still in lockdown because of
Yeah.
people like you. You ain't shut.
Yeah.
You're saying basically that's the sheep mentality.
I think that's shit mentality. Obviously, I think there's something out there, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. But what happened to the flu jab? Where's the flu gone? You know what I'm saying? How comes no one's getting the flu now? Do you know what I'm saying?
Have
where's all-
don't people still get the flu? I'm not
No,
sure.
if you get the flu, that's called COVID. Tell me one last person I don't even know. No one has had the flu this year.
What you say? Everyone's had COVID.
Everyone's had COVID. Everyone's got a runny nose, a sore throat. That's flu symptoms. You know what I'm saying? That's flu symptoms, bro. When it's flu, man get a runny nose, sore
I
cold,
hear you.
a
I
blocked
hear you.
nose.
Okay, I hear you, fam.
But if you get a headache now, and them kind of symptoms is COVID. But there's no flu jabs, and now there's COVID jabs. It just seems a bit ironic, bro. If I be quite honest, I'm not saying there's nothing there, but people are dying.
You've got a point.
I'm being honest, and obviously people that are losing loved ones and whatnot, my heart's with them, innit? But I just think that it just seems a bit.
You saying something ain't adding up?
I just don't know. No.
And
If you use your common sense, it just don't seem right.
So you're saying something ain't adding up, and on the back end of that, you're losing out on your like gym and stuff like that, which is.
I'm not saying it's important to them.
Which is basically part of your mental health.
Yeah.
And other people that can't go other forms of gym or whatever, like box or whatever,
So
football,
do you
boxing.
think that that's the only way we can get results then?
No. We don't. I don't know. What do you think the result is?
Me, like,
Personally, without protesting, what is without like the walking down the street, like, what do you think?
It's not just about protesting. For me, it's like if I know that I want to get some results, I'll look about how to get them results. Mm-hmm. So I don't follow.
Have you looked into, say, for thought he was protesting like the lockdown and that?
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you think that the lockdown is it a bit extreme?
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, given that factor, what would you would you think the way to go about trying to get it to change, because it has been going on for quite a while now, isn't it?
To change how we've been living anyway, because at the end of the day, we've been living under a system which doesn't work for us. So the fact that it got shaken up should be a kind of good thing for everyone, and make people learn how to make money off their own back, because there are people that are still making money at this time. Mm-hmm. They just were selected.
No, definitely. I hear you on the money aspect, but I'm talking about on people's livelihood aspects. People think that they've been deprived.
Your money is your livelihood.
No, but alright, no. Sometimes your money ain't just your livelihood. Going out might be your livelihood. Like going to gym might be your livelihood. Doing stuff. No, I know. I hear what you're saying, but I'm talking about on the people that can't get to go, like Larose, for instance, he can't get to go gym.
He's still wedge.
He is still wedge, like, but that is true. No, but he was feeling it. I remember at a point he's like, "Fucking hell, I can't go gym. It's fucking killing me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, it's doing my head in."
Even the exercise thing, I do the exercise thing with my kids and kind of.
But you think it's not the same, isn't it? I don't know.
Not the same. Get the kids and get out and do things. Do you know what I mean? We're strapped to a certain.
Look, when the gym opens back up, Larose is gonna hit the park still, and do his.
No, he's just gonna hit the gym.
Pull ups. No, because now at this time he's had to be resourceful.
No, he's been backdooring gym. That's what you know. Never. No, right, forget that. I didn't say that.
I was trying to say that. I was trying to make it big. He's been going to the park, doing the calisthenics. You know what I said?
Yeah, of course. I do the ones and whatnot. Yeah, come on. But you know, be quite honest. What Rush was saying, I've got a little bench in my yard and whatnot. So I've got that. So, but to be quite honest, I feel that everyone's got their, like I said, everyone's got their own little getaway, escape mechanism. For me, it's that.
But I feel like gym was more of a social, just like raves and pubs and everything else. Because when I go to the gym, man will be in there chatting for 2 hours and they'll bang 20 minutes of weights.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more of a social thing.
Yeah, gym is a social for some people, but honestly, not for everyone.
Can I be honest with you, bro?
But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I don't want to go back into my background too much. But when I was in jail, that's what got me through my sentence.
Yeah.
Gym and a bit of burn. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've done a couple of years in jail and whatnot. And if I didn't go through that, you have your rocky roads, innit? You have your rocky times. If it's months and whatnot, people can say, yeah. But you go in year out. Do you know what I'm saying? Christmas, New Year's, it keeps on going past. If I didn't have that kind of getaway that helped me to get through that situation. So for me personally, that's what kind of made me come out and keep myself focused. Everyone's got their own.
It's part of your hair. It's part of helping you to stay focused. That's what you're part of.
And then from there, I've just kind of always let it go on. And if I miss it, cool. I'm not a gym fanatic like every 8 days, 7 days a week. So the 3 days, and like I was saying, if there was like 5 people in a gym, had a social distance,
you can still be able to
do
work
that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say everyone go back. It has to be some sort of safety. But at the same time, people can get like twice a week.
But did you find ways around it? That's the question.
You know what? To be quite honest, I've got a couple little weights in my house and whatnot.
You know what I mean? So that.
But it's not the same. It's still frustration.
Yeah.
It's still frustration. Or when I went on a march, the pull-ups and whatnot, it's not the same.
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't have gone on a march. You let off certain thing, but it's not the.
So is it the machines? Is it the machines or is it the social?
You know what? I don't really social too much. When I'm in there, I go in. I've got 1 or 2 people that you just chat and keep it going moving. But for me personally, it's to let that kind of that aggression out.
So it's just the environment. or the social?
Yeah, I'll say that it was the environment more than the social.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because in social aspects, people still socialise to a certain degree out here. Do you know what I'm saying?
And if you wanted to, you could have the machines that you needed in your back garden.
Of course, all day
You know
long.
what I mean? So it's
Just
like,
that way.
what is it about the gym that is the place that you want to go? Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what
of
I'm trying
course.
to. So just explain it for other people that are in a similar situation. So it's more about the environment,
Of
being
course.
able to go there and let off steam.
Yeah.
But even that, what do you got to think about the fact that they've shut down the the church?
Wait, hold on 1 second, 1 second. What do you think about the what would be the best way for the people like that's experiencing that?
Experiencing what?
What he was just saying, the
Gym.
the feeling like he's losing out on something.
Yeah.
What is the best way for them to go about?
My thing is, with everyone, like in this particular time, I feel like everyone's had to find alternative ways to satisfy their mental. You know what I'm saying? Their mind. So like with people there's some people that's losing their job. There's people that's going through all kind of things, but they have to. This is the time where we, like you said, survival of the fittest. Not to say that
This is him having to deal with his mental right now because he ain't got no gym,
No.
Yeah.
and you still can't be weak
Yeah, bro.
and fall victim to
Yeah.
whatever weaknesses that's out there. So
Of
this
course.
is basically a test for yourself.
Of course,
and
mentally.
the people that like to go raving, it's the same thing for them.
People that like to go raving, they're
It's
stuck in the house, they
escapism,
feel
innit?
like they're losing
I've
out.
started to learn
missing
Spanish.
out.
That ain't doing much
That's
for me.
good. No, what do you mean? Another language is always good.
Yeah, it's good for me at the moment. Thank you, bro.
That's good.
Yeah, but for letting that kind of frustration out, it's good for me mentally.
You found something else, so that, I guess
So-
that's a pro.
Yeah, I've started to learn different languages, which I know if we went under lockdown, I wouldn't have started to learn different languages, innit? Which is a
there's
positive.
yeah.
But at the same time, it still ain't got that aggression. You know what I'm
I
saying?
hear
To
you,
let
I
it
hear
out.
you. Yeah, I
So
hear you.
mentally, cool. It keeps me away, maybe awake, and doing it for an hour or two. But it still ain't got that kind of urge.
So, yeah, I hear you. But you
Thank
can still bang out a little gym because you have got your little bench and that
Yeah, of course.
at home, so it's not too bad. But yeah, Jay, what was you saying about churches or something like that?
Yeah, like they've been able to stop worships and all of that within this time. So they've stopped everyone's.
Yeah, so definitely.
You know what I mean?
Same like he was saying, maybe the churches should be able to do it still, just like but spaced out more.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's just like the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
But me personally, I think like that's like kind of maybe another subject. But for the churches,
Hmm.
you should still be at church, innit? If you got faith in it,
Yeah,
because your faith should override.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Even
That's what
even
I just
churches,
personally think.
it's
innit?
not only gyms.
Your
I think
faith
that
should
even churches.
override
Yeah, definitely.
whatever's going on in it. Like,
Yeah.
not to be funny, like if church is shut down, they should be outside the church praying.
Hmm.
You know them ones there.
And they should space it out. If it's that much, then cool. There has to be more services and spaced out in a way
Yeah.
where the health and safety is in progress. You know what I'm saying?
Still, yeah.
That's my personal opinion. So I think
It's the narrative because I've already started hearing them talking about that the cases are dropping dramatically. Have you not heard that as well?
I haven't
Yeah.
had the case.
well, I think it's because of the
Sure.
is it over 60s or 50s?
No, it's just like they're ready to finish this because they know that money needs to make.
Hmm.
Yeah, I say it so like they know that
Hopefully.
it's not individuals, bro. This is the country economy we're talking about.
Hmm.
Like that's why certain places have opened up for a long time.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But then, like what England says and what America says, controls a lot of what other countries are doing. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Like my thing is that I want to go back into the whole idea of having other routes to fight against them within the resources that we've got in this time now.
Not 100%.
What would they and exploring what would they be?
Yeah, I hear you.
What would you guys say?
The other routes is it's just really trying to hit their pocket. Really, that's what they respond to, innit?
Hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. I think is definitely hitting the pockets, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion still.
There's a way to there's silent protests.
Hmm.
There's ways of making sure that their businesses don't get any money.
Hmm.
That's the louder protest than just walking up the West End, like boycotting businesses.
Hmm.
100.
Like unity, something that people that find hard to do as well.
Hmm.
Like uniting. I've seen a lot of uniting lately, but again, strength within numbers. But when you get those numbers, you can't just show them that you're just coming to talk all the time.
Yeah.
We've got past the talking now.
100%.
So it's like we've got to see results within days, or then we have to actually go out of our way to make sure that we're seen as serious as they are. Because if we do anything that they don't like, they show us their sincerity.
Hey, so how can we show that, you think?
With unity, like I say, within the numbers, like there's places within America that have defunded police, and like they've got these people that are making their own community, basically. You know what I mean? They've put barriers there. They've got security with guns and all of that. Not saying that if the government wanted to take them out, you can't take them out from the sky. Sad to say, but it's a stand to a certain point where there's going to be change.
Yeah, I hear you. Definitely. There has to be other ways and means to do it. You know what I mean?
Money and power controls too much.
Definitely.
100%.
Like, could you not even think that you could fly away to your country if it got sticky? And like, say for instance, they were looking for you.
No way.
No, they'll probably give man up, innit?
Exactly.
No, you not to our country. Maybe you might be. I'm not too sure. You could go to. I heard you could go to Cuba at one time.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if that's still going on right now.
If you can get in.
That's when they had another president, I think.
Back in the day, you would think, yeah, but if you get into certain things, you go back home and hide back in their village.
No, if they want to come and if they want to get you, yeah, the authorities over there will
come and get you.
Will, yeah, cooperate for them.
So it's like. But at the same time, you still got to be ready to go for that, right?
Yeah. All day long.
Yeah, that's how it goes, isn't it? At the end of the day, because I don't know, but like majority of like sometimes people that's worshipped and that as heroes and that sometimes you might see people like big up, give reference to like maybe Martin Luther King, maybe Malcolm X, Che Guevara, like different people, innit? Sometimes like they made sacrifices to stand for the point that they wanted to make, innit? Yeah. And some people might have said they're stupid, innit, for making those sacrifices
at the time.
So at the time, innit? So I don't know, you know.
But sometimes the legacy lives on.
Yeah.
So then sometimes it goes. So obviously,
depends if you're doing it for you or something. Is a bigger purpose than you, innit?
For example, if Malcolm X and Martin Luther King didn't go on certain marches, maybe we wouldn't have known it now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So even though it made a lot of difference to
it made certain stances
at the time.
Yeah.
Generations on, we're still talking about it.
No, Because
so sometimes you've got to stand up if you don't make relevant at that time.
They make us feel like Black history is American. Like American history is Black history. And American Black history has got nothing to do with our history. So
their struggle wasn't the same, though.
No, we can't even relate to it anyway. So
no way.
Sad thing is there's never been no dialogue from the other Black people around the world. So the whole world is taking on the American history of the American, like their whole story, their whole struggle. When we've had our own.
Yeah, definitely.
Trust me, if you go to places like Brazil and all them places.
Yeah. They've got all.
Everyone's got their own struggle.
There's so much different struggles that are not spoken about. But because America makes the movies, we're just focusing on the struggles that they've given us to focus on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but we still talk about Tupac and Biggie all these years later.
Yeah. I think it's divide and conquer a lot.
Definitely.
That's a big part.
Divide and conquer was hair. Divide and that's what English do. They go around different countries, colonies, and divide and conquer. So I think if they can do it to different countries in the world, they can definitely do it to their own.
I feel like they've got new versions. So they've got divide and conquer, and they've also got divert and conquer. You know what I'm saying? So if they can divert you, they can also conquer you through diverting.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of people over the years, we don't understand that we've taken on a lot of their stories as well. Do you know what I mean? When you got to think about the fact that we all got the similar narratives, so we feel like we have to fight for the similar narratives, whether we're from Africa or the Caribbean. We still feel like we have some sort of fight that we have. What do you think about that?
That if you're from, if you're from
Africa or the Caribbean.
African or Caribbean,
yeah,
you've still got to fight.
They make you feel like as though you have something to fight for.
Yeah, they make you feel that you have something to fight for, and that's just. But it's bigger than us in it because it's media and there's everything on TV. So they just bring your social media. It's just try to brainwash you to be, as what the Rose was saying, sheepish, innit? And then you just fall into the narrative that they want you to do. Then you start being upset about this, and then you feel like this is unfair, and then you just fall into that sheep mindset, innit? You can just be manipulated easy. That's the way I see it.
I know that was also part of it. Like, well, how do you feel like you got out of the sheep mind state? I know I was once there, but I don't know how I got like.
You know what? Me personally, I feel don't listen to everything you hear and make your own assumptions. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, if you read something, you see something, just don't think that's always true.
100%.
How did you learn it through experience? Or just?
I think by coming from activist families, whatnot, books where they've told me certain things and I've read certain things and how I saw certain things in, like, for example.
So you say you might have read something and then they might have told you actually that's not actually how it is and gave you another perspective that made you like, okay.
So, for example, I saw something called Malcolm X. I used to go to Saturday school.
Yeah.
And I saw something Malcolm X. But remember, you're seeing it from someone else's point of view. So how they're gonna edit it and make it look is how they're seeing it from their own point of view, innit? So you're taking on the information from them. Do you know what I'm saying? If you read it from a book from someone else's point of view, then you can take it. So you can put the two together or three together and analyze and make your own assumption than just taking it from one source. Do you know what I'm saying? So me personally, like, whatever people say, I could tell you, for example, this is ironic. Someone got robbed down the end of the road.
Yeah.
He's a white man. By the time you've told 3-4 different men, he's a white man with a hat with a gold tooth. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I feel the story's changed, but from your eye is what you saw, and then when you tell someone else, from their mind they're going to keep on progressing it.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like television and these things, when you read it or you listen to it, is what you're digesting.
100.
And then when you're regurgitating it to someone else, it's what they're digesting.
So it's from your perspective.
It's from your perspective. So
you analyse and give it out.
Yeah, so you should get more sources than just one, and then sit down and make your kind of analogy in your own self-thinking, me personally.
No, I agree. I hear you.
Do you think that we have enough protest against ourselves if we're gonna talk about us as a culture?
Protest, not really. As Larose was talking about sheep mentality, that's a protest. For you to get out of the sheep mentality and maybe try to think from another perspective, you gotta get out of that. That's like a fight against yourself.
Definitely.
Like and as Jay was saying earlier, lockdown was some pros and some cons, but some of the pros was that you was actually be able to analyze yourself, and you're basically forced into that position. It's like sometimes when someone might go to jail. They're forced into a place of solitude, innit? Where they've got no choice but to analyse themselves and decisions they've made and everything about their life, and that might bring them to some awareness. It might not. It's always depending on where the person is, but that's the way I see it. What do you think, Larose?
Yeah, and you know what? I agree with you still. I'm still definite.
What would it take for us to change things like in our own communities? Because like we're always ready to protest against something that we think that's happening against us. But how often do we protest against the things that we're doing to each other, and like the bad ways that we have in our community that have been kind of swept under the carpet?
I think that's deep rooted, though. You know, I feel like that's gonna have to change within decades, because I feel that we can start something, but because it's been deep rooted. And me personally, the seed's been sown. So people like for us to make a change, it's not going to change overnight, innit? Nothing's going to change. I think it has to be a progression of everyone following the same steps.
What do you think the seeds that need to be planted now for this to take place?
To be quite
for the future, as you're saying.
That everyone has their own mind to say how they feel and to progress, even if it is a thing where society is against them, or the majority think a certain way, you still can progress in a certain way. You being that one, do you know what I'm saying? So if there's 500 people saying this, that, the other, and you still got that opinion, you can still go through without getting shut down. Does that make sense?
But like, if someone calls you a pussy today in your face, what are you gonna do?
Bro, I'll be honest with you. That's a touch. It depends on the analogy or where it is. On a direct thing, on a angry one. To be quite honest, if I'm here now, I'll probably move to him, innit? But if I'm with my family or my kids, I probably won't.
No, I hear you, but I'm talking about family and kids. Just what would you do?
Yeah, I'll probably.
Use in Flash.
Yeah, I'll probably.
Depends on. Depends. It's like not straight. It's not straight.
You know what? It's when we're talking
Depends,
on this
innit?
podcast, we try keep it grown.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'll
trying
be
to
diplomatic.
think of
I'm not to
I
say.
didn't want to try to make
I'm not
myself
gonna
feel
say.
big.
I'm not gonna say. I might call them a pussy old back. Alright.
Okay.
I ain't seen you do that before, mate. I'll keep it real with you, mate. I've known you for a very long time. That don't sound like you, bro.
Listen,
you gotta
bro.
keep it real, mate.
Listen, my bro. Ain't we trying to
I've
grow?
seen you wild out a couple times. We're
Look,
trying to grow.
Yeah, we are.
I'm
You
trying
see
to
me
have a
wild
conversation
out.
that we can help people grow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 100.
yeah. So
I'm trying to be on my growth thing, innit?
Okay, no, but you're right. That's ideally right. So I'm not wrong knocking you for saying that because I was heading
Yeah.
to
I will might regret it after.
But
Yeah.
my whole thing
I
is
think
trying
the way
to-
that
trying to-
I think of the way that I've been brought up, like I say,
yeah, and we weigh
In my
it up.
mind.
If we like,
and it don't mean nothing really.
do
Listen,
we put things on the scale in our community?
I believe so
I
because
don't believe so.
you know what I think.
Okay.
Sorry to cut you. I think someone calling me a pussy now, I'm looking at the way I'm thinking there's nothing to it. That makes sense? Like words, I'm looking at this guy, I'm thinking I will do him over whatever. I should feel comfortable with myself to walk away.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's just chatting, he might be juiced up,
That's right.
he might be
Yeah.
drunk up, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think in that kind of way where I've been brought up, like don't have it from school. From school to growing up, you always have that stigma. You don't let anyone take the piss.
There's
You know what I'm saying? So me growing up now, thinking maybe I probably might take a step back and analyse the situation.
No, let's be honest. None of you would do that. But I'm saying, the truth is that do we need to champion people that can do that more?
Definitely.
So you know, like there's something
bigger thinking.
that you know, like everyone's so on champion the tough side of everything. You know what I'm saying? But then no one's ever questioned whether the tough guy didn't want to be so tough.
Yeah, it's true.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
no, I hear you.
So that and the brother the brother that could say no and just turn the cheek and walk away.
The person.
We called them a pussy.
Yeah.
When maybe that was more strength than we even thought.
No, I hear you
What
100%.
do you not think about it?
Yes. There's always
Just on the other
levels.
side of it all.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's always levels to everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because some people get into
ridiculed.
stupid like beef, like which is basically over nothing, innit?
Yeah.
You know, then once there's not really no backbone to it.
There's no backbone to it. There's no reason.
You know,
for
them
it.
ones man gonna have a beef from a man on the road just by some bullshit. By looking at each other, you know, them ones
That's the
there.
point. Keeping each other over screwy face.
Screw
It's happened
face, like,
plenty of
you know,
times,
them ones
and you don't
there.
even know the
But at this
background,
point in
nothing.
our life, I'm like, right, that guy that could walk away was more stronger than I
Yeah.
thought.
1,000,000%.
He had
No,
more
100%.
confidence within himself.
Yeah.
Maybe even whether it was even me that had a situation with him before. I'm looking at that. And you know what? That I realized that you was in a better place than I was. Now.
No,
Whether he walked away or you know what I'm saying. Whether that day you might call him some other names. But later on in your life, you realize that you know
it takes a level of growth still.
Definitely.
it takes a level of growth.
1,000,000%. And
To
hopefully
analyse it,
go out
get me.
certain places and go out certain things and way.
But
way
people
they
don't
kind
big
of-
these things up enough.
They
Yeah.
don't. They
And
don't.
especially from where we're from, like we're on the other side of like being the rough side, seeing the ups and downs, seeing how people will hold you down when you're actually in a situation. So we need to actually bring some of our findings to the table and make some of those people that maybe don't feel good within themselves because they let certain things go. Maybe they know, do you know what, you was a bigger man for that, really.
No, 100%.
1,000,000%.
Definitely.
Even as growing up, I think there's a lot of different from where we grew up to this grew up. Like for example, postcodes. That's what I'm saying. Like, me personally, this is England, isn't it? So it's the Queen's land. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
from if we're here or there, your brain has been telling you, right, if a man comes over to a certain set from your area, you've got to move to him. And out of that way of being programmed, you're going to move to him. But before you speak to man and say, wow, you know what, where you from, bro? Or let's make something happen. Let's make some money. Let's do something. Where you from? Who's your family? Or kind of love. It's straight away negative. But because that's been programmed, naturally, if you're going to give me negative, I want to give you negative back. So if I see you, it's going to be standoffish. Instead of embracing each other.
Definitely.
Like, well, where are you from? Your family, do you need anything? And building a bigger empire together.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Unity.
So I think that's the way where we've been programmed. Like, if someone calls you a pussy, naturally you're going to
just
fight.
hit them back with the negative. Alright, you're testing my. Alright,
And even my dad, he
it's
used to tell me,
bullshit,
well,
gotta
if you
break
go
it.
to school and get beaten up, sometimes they tell me don't come home until you do your thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So not always the case,
of
but
course.
that bit
Yeah,
of program
no,
of
that's
him just being
program,
having a macho son that can look after him, you
Yeah.
naturally, that's embedded in you. Do you know what I'm saying? As you go
100%.
over.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's more
definitely.
teaching you just have to be a warrior individually. You
Of
know what I mean?
course.
Rather than being a warrior underneath your underneath being around people.
Yeah.
Teaching you how to be a man.
Yeah, definitely.
Where it's like, you know, like some people are just encouraging people in a bad way, if you,
Of course.
if you ask me. So that's
No,
why
they
it's
are.
like, there was enough of that happened that never got called out. And we never gave no props to the people that made the right decisions, but was from the same blocks as us. Grew up, went same primary school, same secondary school as us, but made better decisions than us. Like,
100%.
and for the time being, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
We still gained whatever experience we want, and we kind of got what we wanted out of our own situations, out of the way we live. So we still gained in our own ways, but we still, as we sit here as people of experience, we still should commend people that we know don't get any commending. You know what I mean? But we know that it saves you from a lot of the bullshit and the programming that we've been programmed to do. You know what I mean? Because there was guys that was able to go away from that
Yeah,
programming.
definitely. There was guys that was able to go away from that program and see it early and break it.
But we dissed
And
them.
we did.
100%.
You know why we dissed them? Because some of them guys weren't the guys that were strong enough and went away from the deprogramming. Some of them guys they weren't just strong, they were just weak. That's why they just went away from that. So that's why we just tried to throw them all into one basket.
No,
and this all of them, but it weren't all of them, innit? Yeah, you know them ones there.
There was
There weren't all those ones that was able to, but they said now, you know what, fuck that. I know what I can do. Fuck that shit. You know them ones there.
And it wasn't a champion enough. Because we don't know that guy's name as much as we know the gunman's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I
That's
hear
the way
you.
the world works round, isn't it?
Yeah,
You don't see the big man that
when
walks
you
away.
when you sit down with anyone, big grown man, we always say the same thing. We rate what's positive, innit? Especially after the experience.
Of course.
Yeah.
But, like,
That's it. It's an experience. Because even if you see like some of the some of the people that was talking about Malcolm X or whatever, just their story, for instance, he was doing bullshit, innit? You get me? When he started, he was doing bullshit. God knows whatever he was doing. You know what I mean? But he was able to change, innit? And that's the growth, innit? That's strength, innit? In being able to change and make something in a positive, righteous
Learn from
cause. You get
mistakes,
me?
innit?
And which was bigger than himself. He done it for a cause that he thought was bigger than himself. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And that takes courage.
Definitely courage. That's why I say that as much as like, you know, that someone, the confrontational person that becomes more positive, we always just think about the non-confrontational person that still is able to be in the hood for us to get things done. Because if we didn't have a non-confrontational person in the hood, there's certain things that couldn't get done for us.
Yeah, for real, because everything would be a confrontation.
You know what I'm saying? And when you're actually in situations that where you can't, there's not that guy to phone where he's not, you know that he's reliable based on his lack of being confrontational. You know what I'm saying? Like, without that,
definitely needs the
just,
balance.
it's just bare man that's shouting at each other.
Yeah, definitely
And
needs
we'll
the
be
balance.
selfish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just bullshit. Yeah,
It's true.
on and on
Totally
and on.
true. That's why I agree with you.
Just like Bloods and Crips. Generations and generations. Grandfathers and great grandfathers.
So the seed and
with the
keeps
flag.
going.
No disrespect to nobody.
As
But
you get
yeah.
older, if you ever got friends that are nothing like you, then you've lost.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
And I think
See, that's coming out of your comfort zone, I guess.
And accepting them for who they are.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
loving
Yeah,
them for some other
definitely.
people for
Yeah,
like, something
100%.
away from you
definitely,
Yeah,
100%.
that can't benefit you as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's with growth. Because when you're younger, you wouldn't even put them in the same circle.
You
Yeah,
understand?
for real.
If they don't act or tick
Yeah,
certain
yeah, of
boxes,
course.
then they're not coming with you.
Some ego thing, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I remember when I was growing up, there used to be one guy with Gallus, like, and I'm thinking, oh mate, I've got to drop him out. Because if he does get on top, he's going to draw girls and get my head bust. You know what I'm saying? I was in school with him, but he was the guy. That now,
problems.
Like, I've spoken to him, we're still cool in school, and now he's elevated a different way.
Yeah,
But even sometimes when you're younger, if you can draw a girl, man won't want you to come neither.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You might not even get invited to the party.
Yeah, for real.
You might get, you know what I'm saying? It might you hear tomorrow, like, everyone's gone to the shows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like, it's like, we never told them stories.
We never ever told them stories.
We told the stories about,
all the bad
sound cool. We
and
don't
not the
tell
good
the story where, right, my brethren just dropped me out because they thought that I might be intimidating for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So there's a macho. It's a macho and there's a macho image.
You understand?
Which don't always need to be portrayed, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Sometimes.
You might draw a girl at the end of a rave and your brethren did it. Your brethren's vexed.
Yeah.
You've been in those situations that people, because everyone got what they wanted to get and everyone's got to go home now. Man, I'm asking, let's go to the after party, the after party, the after party.
No, 100%.
So
And your bedroom might take feelings, and each time she's giving you a wrong number. You don't even know that, but you keep that to yourself because you're macho.
You understand?
And then he's holding feelings against you.
Yeah, no.
You're holding feelings against her, and you don't even know. It's self-destruction.
And now everyone's like,
Cycle.
Relationships edgy. Edgy for about a year
For what now?
until you get off your chest.
Do you understand?
Bullshit.
But these are the kind of things that if the program is not changed, there was a lot of, away from the hard stuff, there's a lot of petty shit that was happening in the hood.
Yeah, very much so.
Definitely.
Very much so, man.
Yeah, petty shit, a lot of petty shit that just continue for way too long, you know the ones there?
So we need to fix them things before we start.
But sometimes it's, as you said, as maybe the Larose was saying, like it's for people to plant the seeds in it.
Yeah.
Like see that man's at that age just for man to plant the seeds in it, 'cause sometimes maybe some of those petty shits was able to carry on because no one wanted to turn left in it. Everyone was going right and no one wanted to turn left and say, hey man, what the fuck going on, man? Saying shit ain't right, it's going on for too long.
Yeah.
You know the ones there? No one was able to take that step because obviously that's uncomfortable, innit? You saying that when everyone's on them and then you just that's uncomfortable, like, you get me?
It's true, 1,000,000%.
So
1,000,000%.
you've got to be brave to be able to do that.
Stand up as that individual.
You've got to be strong within yourself to stand up as that individual and to say that, you get me? So you know you're going to get challenged. And so you got to be and able to take on the challenge.
It's so true, man. So what do you think? Like, we need to. Do you think working on ourselves within is better than marching, or do you think we should still collectively march, or do we need to know who we're marching with?
I think, me personally, working on yourself is always a beautiful thing. But at the same time, working on yourself, there has to be a balance. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like working on yourself, kind of making yourself knowledgeable,
Yeah.
and knowing yourself in what you're doing it for.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I think, because you know what, for example, if you're working on yourself and you're not letting people all know how you feel, then it's pointless, because you're not trying to make a stand or make a statement. Even though it's your growth and you're working on yourself, it's a beautiful thing, but if you don't go out and make that stand, if you don't think something's right, then you're not, all that knowledge, you're not passing it on. You're keeping it within yourself, do you know what I'm saying?
But what if you protest, but then you go back to the ends and lick shots and beat man up? You know what I mean?
You say this, that make you good. So you're out there protesting, but then you come back to the hood and then you're just licking man down and running man down, postcode shit.
Running man down.
But it depends. It depends really what the process is about.
It doesn't, because for me, that's what I say.
Say if you go to BLM protest and then after you go back and you're...
That don't make sense. That's basically you being a hypocrite, innit? Because it's quite but at the same time, if someone's putting your life in danger, your family's life in danger, I think there's different situations. No, for example, if someone's
back on the ends, you're talking about. That's different. No, we're just saying just post.
Yeah,
just
but post
bullshit.
me personally,
just repping it.
Doesn't make sense. But there's more to come together.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. There's things that we should. And I can't say, let me fix me and my bridges or me and my area. All I can do is fix myself within. And for me, that's a big enough protest. Like making sure that
100%.
I'm valuable for my community, making sure that I'm a well-rounded person, and I understand things at a certain way. To me, that's the beginning of a protest that can actually help many.
Yeah, to be honest, like I agree with you. The first protest that people should be taking as a protest with themselves. Then after they protest with themselves, then they're ready for the world, or just even begin the protest with themselves. You know what I mean? Then once they're in the protest with themselves, then they can protest with the world.
I feel like once you like you slightly get the progression through the protest with yourself, you help people protest with themselves.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
so
then
it
that's
just happens naturally.
You know what I mean? And then they help another person. You know what I mean? And when and people that watch the whole
Yeah,
process.
then there's people that are watching the process as well.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
understand that? One big set chain of protests happening for people improving themselves from within.
No, 100%. That makes sense.
Because that's the side of things that people don't have
Because
to
you
work
can't be contradictory. You get me, as we was just saying in the BLM and the postcode shit. You get me, because there were some people that was doing that. You know what I mean?
That's a bit contradiction still.
That's what I heard. That's what I'm not too sure. That's what I heard Stormzy's done, isn't it?
He's a contradiction as well. But I'm
So
saying,
What did you do?
Not to get off subject, but it's on subject. But yeah, I heard Stormzy was at the BLM protest, and after he was at the BLM protest, he went to Chip's house to see what was good. I don't know if he went to fight or whatever, but he went with a couple of men. You get me, hoodied up and that. You get me.
Okay.
So
yeah.
like, it's a bit of a contradiction. So some people just do it. Some people, I guess, can do it for social media as well. You know what I mean? Just to paint an image.
And some people do it in emotions.
Because that's what's in it.
Yeah.
Sheep. So as you were saying before, because there was a lot of people that was on the BLM like black. I was talking on the black shit when BLM was going on. Then after the BLM finished, they finished.
Yeah.
So
Going back to the hood and just cracking on like normal.
yeah. So yeah.
So to round it up, we said.
To round it up,
Maybe
I'm
you
gonna
don't
say,
maybe do.
yeah, man, big up the Larose, man. You went out there and you stood.
No, big up Larose, big up the intentions. Big up intentions of everyone going.
Big up the
but
intentions.
Don't you
'cause-
think that I just feel like
Yeah, but definitely we have to analyze the way that we go about protesting, because we need results. You know what I mean? It's all good going out. You get me? Hopefully nothing will happen with my man's charge. You get me?
if we don't
Like-
deal with ourselves, how are we
And-
gonna deal with anyone anything else?
No, definitely. We got to deal with ourselves. Yeah, 100%. We got to deal with ourselves first, and yeah,
That's the biggest.
a lot of and through the COVID, it's been a time for everyone to deal with themselves and see what's going on within themselves. And sometimes in life, you might be stripped of them vices that you're held to in it, and you might be left in a vulnerable state. So, yeah, so that should just help you go towards strengthening yourself and getting at one with yourself. Really, what I would say.
You saying Larose?
You know what? I agree to a certain degree. I feel that sometimes there's a place where if you feel content within yourself and you feel content with what's going on, then you don't have to make that kind of decision to go out and do protests. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel that there's a lot of circumstances where you can feel if you feel conscious within yourself and you feel that you don't need to make that kind of change, there's other people that might not feel the same way. So you can't always be selfish.
But what you got to be careful of is that you're deflecting issues.
But
Because sometimes I feel like people, when they go to marches and things like that, there's other issues that they're using it, and you know what I'm saying?
they're using their own personal.
Yeah, they're using
Using their own personal issues to let off some frustration.
Definitely.
To let off steam, that it's a place to let off
Definitely.
steam because shit's going off in their life, like shit's not right.
Things.
And they haven't, as you said, like the self being at one with yourself, because you're not at one with yourself, you're gonna go out there and let off steam that is really for something else.
Yeah, so
In your life.
you're avoiding the protest within and protesting outside.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the government has even thought about these protests, if it's making any kind of change to the way that they think, or to the way that they're kind of making a structure? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you think they've looked at, because there's been several protests, do you think it's caught their eye of them, or they're going to brushing it under the carpet? Because think about it, look, sorry to shut you there, Mark Duggan, that was a protest.
It started as a
protest.
But that wasn't a planned protest.
That wasn't a planned protest, but it started as a protest. But then at the same time,
you don't know, it might have been planned. But
whereas
carry on.
it might have been it might have been pushed. Whereas like it might have been planned, like I say to you, not knocking that, but I'm saying
it's a totally different situation.
I don't think it went as far as it went. I don't think they understood how far it could go. Because people had problems with police all over. So,
that was something with people themselves operating, having frustration.
With the COVID ones, I believe they wanted more of a protest and they never got it. So now, like they've tried to push people to have that protest for them to bring in different rules, but no one actually protests like that. So all that's happening is money is getting wasted, and the economy's going lower and lower and lower. So there's going to have to be some drastic decisions that get made just to save the economy for this place to not be a third world.
I hear you. Maybe I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what their plan is or what their aim is, because the city's been locked down for a little while now.
Everyone's getting used to it now.
I say it's becoming like it's normal now. Like
driving, it's nothing.
Like it's nothing. Like it's even like traffic on the road now. Like and it's still locked down. I'm like, how can there be traffic on the road now? Like when lockdown's open, that means it's gonna be crazy.
It can be mad.
Even with the roads that's been shut down and that, it means it's gonna. I don't know what.
I think there's gonna be more balls, more fights. Yeah, everyone's gonna hold their liquor like myself.
It seems like it'll turn more mad before
it's
it turns
mad,
cool.
isn't it? It's like when you, I don't know if people have been in jail, when you get out their gates, you just try and do everything at once. And that one day people might go restaurant, go for a drink, go there, go there, try to force it.
Everything, yeah.
And that's just that's going to be a recipe for disaster, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be.
But it depends on how they ease the lockdown, isn't it? But I think when it comes down to people with mental health or certain things, what they're trying to speak, I'm not doing it as a socialising thing, but you got to take that kind of, you got to look at it and try and take that into perspective. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. No, 100%, because it has been affecting people's mental health. So yeah, we have got to take that into perspective. 100%. Yeah, man.
You're still playing football.
Mm.
People still playing football. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got people playing, and all these kind of footballers. People playing. I think people are still playing tennis, aren't they, or something? And golf. So and then there's no two social distances, 2 meters distance. So if you're doing that and that's a sport for people at home, so they don't get mental health, so the sport helps them kind of get.
No, definitely.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're doing that, then you might as well. Sport and the gym is a sport. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're so on the gym thing.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Swimming is a good thing. Not only the gym.
No, definitely.
Just everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Running tracks and so forth.
Everything's connected, isn't it? So you've got health, wealth, definitely physical, spiritual, all of that, 100%. But yeah, hopefully, the gym opens back up soon, so you can get back to what you're doing, and hopefully this time has given you to go through some little evaluations about yourself.
Some self-growing, innit?
Some self-growing. Being able to get back into the gym, bang out them weights.
Definitely, mate. I
Can't wait for the day.
Can't get wait for the day, bro.
100. What you say, Jay? You want to say anything before we wrap it up?
No, man. Good conversation.
Yeah. Come on. Larose, you want to say anything before we wrap it up for the people out there? You get me? For anyone that had anything negative to say about him when they saw his face on the screen with his mask. You get me?
Just say thank you.
Thank
you. There's always gonna
say thank you to everyone.
Thank you, bro. You know what?
Everyone that said fucking hell, what the fuck you doing?
Fucking prick. What's
you
fucking mug?
You say you want to say thank you to them.
Bro? Everyone's gonna have their opinion, innit?
100%.
You can't change everyone's opinion.
100%.
You just gotta do you and feel what's right within you.
100%.
So
100%.
if they might talk and be like, that guy's chatting shit and they're safe. It's
100%.
Cool, but you've been raised differently, your morals are different, so you look at things differently from a different eye.
As long as you can back your opinion and stand the ground with your opinion.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
You know what you're doing and you know what you're standing for. An opinion shouldn't make you feel no way, like?
Definitely not. You
Yeah.
feel comfortable and just kind of crack on, do you?
No, I feel you 100%.
Don't succumb to the pressure.
Yeah, 100%. I feel you. All right, people, that's it, fam. Chief and Banter podcast done. No, big up the Rose, Big J. Yo. Blah, blah.